All right, we'll give it just a minute here. It's 8 o'clock. Wait till 8:01. All right. Good evening, folks. Thank you all so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed the cartoon. I know Ray did. I have to go back and show that one to Rachel. Thank you all so much for joining. I had like 3 different projects to do tonight, and I wasn't sure which one would be better. And I thought, well, let me just go with the one that I've been working on here that I've been working on for about 2 months, kind of. So I'll just show you where I'm at. So I have these Pennsylvania coach cars that I got from Dave Griffin. He gave these to me. And one of them didn't even have wheels on it, or trucks. And the other ones, the trucks are a little bit loose and not working right. So I came up with a plan to make trucks for these with the 3D printer. And like I said, back in December, I downloaded the file from Thingiverse, and I printed it, and I said, it didn't quite work, and I kind of gave up. And then I thought, well, let me use that as a plan to make some new trucks. So that's what we're going to do today. I'll show you the trucks that I designed, and I'll show you how I put them together, and how to fix up a Lionel coach car. First of all, can you hear me okay? Is my sound all right? Can anybody hear me? Audio good. Thank you very much, Ray. Okay, let me go up to the top here and welcome everybody. Again, I don't have that participants list, so I'll go through the comments here. So Thomas Grassi was the first one in. Welcome. He gets the cookie, I guess. And yeah, well, that's another story. Okay, Thomas, Grandpa Rails, Schuylkill River Valley, John number 2, Raybo Bell, PK and W Model Works, Bob. Let me go down to Ken Amos Jr., Al Marr, John Train BFGR. Ready, Curly. Del Hudson, thank you very much. Elmar, Ken Amos, PK and W, Thomas Grassi, loud and clear, Dave. All right, very good. I have a truck tuner. Kind of, and I'll show you what I have. I have one for HO, but I kind of had to improvise here for the Lionel. Kyle Stevens, welcome. Thanks for joining in. So we got 15, so we have enough to get started. I do have something else I could show you if we get done with this early, but whatever. Let's say, let me just go to that view. Sorry about that. Well, okay, that may be as good as it gets. Wonder if I need some light on that. 16.7. Midsummer Railway End Scale. Welcome. Okay, so yeah, I got these cars from Dave Griffin, and one of them did not have trucks, and some of the other ones were not so good. And I had downloaded a file from Thingiverse, and I printed it, and I said, that doesn't work. So I kind of made up my own design here with the 3D printer. So I'll just show you the parts here that I have. And obviously that's not coming through with the brother. Okay, so that's kind of whited out there. So what I did take from the downloaded file was the main part of the truck here and how that was designed. So I kind of took that and went with it and designed the rest of this. And then the wheels that they had. Let me see if I have. See if this comes up any better. Let's just go over this. All right. All right, so I'm going to go over this here with a marker to make it a little bit easier for you to see. So the original wheels that I downloaded, they were kind of flat here. And that didn't work out too good because, like, if you have your track here, you wanted to have that flange at an angle so that it keeps it on track. If it goes around a corner, it's got to stay on. And the same thing, you can see the track here and the wheel. If it's at an angle and it goes around a corner, you've got to have that to stay on. And also this part here is tapered at an angle, so it stays on the track properly. If there's a shift from left to right, then it kind of keeps it centered and where it's supposed to be. So that was the first part of the redesign that I did on this. And well, I guess some of you will not. So on a real train car, the wheels are tapered like this to keep them on the track. So that's how that goes. So here's the wheels that I printed. Now I know that a plastic wheel may not be the best thing, but I mean it's what I have for now, and I'll show you something else there. Let's see. Okay, that's not going to focus too well. But anyhow, yeah, there's the wheel that I printed, and I also printed the axles for it. You can see what that looks like. So you have a little bit of shrinkage and expansion when you. Thank you, Bob. So what happens is I had to make the axle just a little bit smaller than diameter of the wheels here. And then you have to clean them out a little bit. And if you're into 3D printing, so I'm going to go into a little bit of 3D printing stuff here. It helps to have yourself some of these files. Let's see the other one. Yeah, so I also have a round file. So as you print these, you want to clean out the inside here like that to make sure that's nice and smooth, and then sand the edges of this. So a little bit about 3D printing. The wheels and the axles I printed at a high resolution, a 0.1 resolution at 100 millimeters per second. So they're kind of slow. And let me see, I got another slide here about this. Put that slide up. Yeah. Okay, so in 3D printing, you have a couple things that one conflicts the other or something. In other words, you want to print things as fast as you can, but at the same time, if you print them too fast, then you may not have the quality. So these are a couple of things, and what happened there? These were arrows, in other words. So if you increase the resolution, then the time goes up, the quality goes up, and those are supposed to be arrows there, and somehow in the conversion of this file, I lost the arrows. So then also, if you increase the speed, the time that it takes to print will go down. It'll print faster, but then the quality goes down. So I mean, that's obvious, but you know, just something to keep in mind while you're setting things up in your printer. So there's something else when you're printing something like a circle here. There's a setting in here for random seam or Z seam alignment, and that would be in a shell setting. So when you go into the slicer and you click on the shell, you want a random Z seam alignment. So that's random, because what happens is your 3D printer is going around to print this, and each time it's printing another layer and it's going back and forth. So if your printer stops at the same point as it goes around, like it prints a layer and then it's going to go back and print another layer, if it keeps stopping at the same point, you're going to end up with a line somewhere on your object, and that's going to be harder to file. So if you have it random, what'll happen is you'll have like random spots on here at different heights, and it's easier to sand. In other words, it's easier to get a smooth wheel out of it. And of course, that would also go for the bottom here. Oh, I was talking about the resolution of this, and I found that like printing this at a 0.1 resolution worked out good. If I tried to print this at a 0.2, what would happen is the layers, and the resolution kind of has to do with the layers. And what would happen is, if you can see that, it kind of makes steps in it, and it's not quite as smooth. So that would be the reason to increase your resolution on that. So those are some 3D printing tips on printing the wheels and the axles. The rest of it is not such a big deal. In other words, the truck itself, the coupler, the side pieces, you could print those at a lower resolution. They should be okay. So Happy Valley Hobbies is here. Is that what I see there? Yes. Okay. Hello, Edward from Happy Valley Hobbies. Welcome. Yeah, here I can show you on this one here. So that's a drawing of the axle, and you have something else that is a phenomenon or a regular problem with 3D printing, and that is if you're trying to print something, that thing goes to one point and stops, and then it goes to another, and so forth. And what happens, as you can see on my drawing, or maybe you can't. Well, that's as tight as I can zoom that in. Okay, you end up with like bulges on the corner, just the same way as this marker will do it. The 3D printer does the same thing. So if you decrease the speed a little bit, you can kind of reduce those. And there's a couple different things that you can do, but you want to keep that in mind. It is easier to print this flat, but I found that if I printed it like straight up and down like that, it takes a little bit longer, but it comes out with a much smoother finish on it, and works better. So that's kind of a rant about, there are a couple tips on the wheels, the axles, how that goes together. So I'm printing a couple different designs here on the sides, and I was literally working on this today, you know, before I started this. And this one here, it's kind of plain, it's flat on the side. And then I was also messing around with the design. It has a little bit of detail in it. I don't know if you could, there you go. You see that kind of as I move that around. So that one has a little bit of detail, but the difference is this one I've got to print flat so that the details on the top side, I got to print that flat, and then on the bottom side you have to pick out the supports that are in here. So in other words, when you print the ones with the higher detail, you have support on the other side. The ones here that do not have any detail, I can print this flat, and then the indents, like for the axles and for the side, you don't need support. It comes out neater. Let me get my light. Let's see if that'll help us. Let me know if that helps out here. There we go. Does that help any? Is it buttered popcorn? Steve 87, PSAP, welcome. So yeah, these are the two different sides. You see, this one's kind of thin, and it's, you know, there's no detail on that side, and this one here has some detail to it. So it's a give and take on that. Like I said, you have to print this one down and then pick out the supports. This one here you print up, and doesn't need supports. So that's over here. And also what I did on these, I made it with the little hole in the center so that I could screw these on, because I've been experimenting with them. If you download the files and you don't want to, if you don't have the screws or whatnot, you can glue them on there. But I'm screwing them on because it's easier, and I can take it apart. And I'm trying different things here. So, and I'm using, these are number 2 screws that are on there. Yes, Bob. I don't know about a master, but I'm certainly getting my money's worth out of the printer. Just as soon as I finish printing one thing, I come up with a crazy idea and I start printing something else. So let me put this together for you real quick and drop all the parts. Watch them roll off the desk, because that's how it goes. So we'll put that, squeeze that together. See if we can lose the screw. Okay, so Hang on here, I'm having a mouse issue. I'm going to catch up to the comments here. Thomas, yes, that's kind of funny because Ray and I were kind of getting into that, and we download. You'll have to share that file with me, Thomas, because well, I downloaded 4 or 5 different HO scale files, and just trying to find the best one that's easiest to mount and works the best. But that was something that I saw the file and I thought, well, I'll give it a try. There's no way this is going to work. And I printed it, and I was like, oh my gosh, that'll work. I put a set of wheels in it and it's fun. And I thought, I can't believe it. So yeah, that's exactly right, Steve. That's what I was saying. You know, you glue these together, and you know, if you do it wrong, then it could, you know, the whole thing's out of alignment. You got to start over. I mean, really, you know, you're 3D printing it, so if you screw up a 3D print, just print another one, try it again. But yeah, I like to have the screws, so I got something, you know, connected in there. So because of the fact that this thing is so long here, it's got a got an adjustment here in the coupler. So I had to figure that out. And what I did on this here, well, instead of taking this apart, there's the coupler and there's the truck piece. Got to remember to keep these under the camera. This hole here, I designed it just big enough that I could put a 440 tap in it. So that's what I did. I put a 440 screw in there, and that hole's tapped. You can put like a nylon locking nut on there if you wanted, or something. Again, that's something that I'm kind of experimenting with. And actually, like I said, I was literally printing out different variations as I was doing this. So yeah, there we go. You got to remind me, Ray, if I quit catching up to, if I forget about the chat. Turning a project now myself. Oh, okay. Since I guess you're not feeling 100% there. Well, it's always fun, you know. Get yourself a roll of filament and see what you can print. Well, whatever class you're in, beginner, master, whatever. So anyhow, that's where I am with this truck. It's got a adjustable coupler, and I'm not sure about the support, but I don't know how much it needs. And I designed this hole to fit a number 6 screw. Here is my number 6 screw. It goes in there. And I also 3D printed, it's included in there, this little bushing here. I don't know if you need it. Depends on what you're using these trucks on. So you have that, and surely, there it is over here. Parts are always getting away from me. So yeah, depending on the, you know, what you're working on, you may or may not need those, but they're included with the file. That goes on there. Then that, a regular washer. And we'll screw that on. And that is a nylon locking nut on there. So that's the easiest thing to do. And then what I do is I kind of tighten this down to get everything seated and give it some adjustment. And back it off just enough so we got some free play in there like that. Okay. So yeah, that's 3D printed trucks for a Pennsylvania coach car that otherwise was not working. Get a cat, mouse issues go away. Yeah, I'm working with, I got to buy a new, it's a wireless mouse, which I really like because, you know, it's easy to use when it works right. But there's the little contact in there for the scrolling, the wheel. That thing gets gunked up or something. So like every couple of weeks, I got to take this apart and spray the wheel with some contact cleaner, which is, you know, what I did 5 minutes before the stream started. So it's always good to, you know, take apart your computer right before you start a live stream. So that's cool. So yeah, like I said, you know, this side is flat. I have more detailed ones, and you know, it depends on how much you want to take these apart and get the supports out. Like for these here, it's not too hard. Yeah. So that one came right out, as you can see. That's the support that came out. And maybe Thomas can give us some tips on supports. Thomas is the expert in 3D printing. So I'm sorry, I took that apart and it's not in the camera. So I also had, excuse me. So here's another one of these, and the problem is this is loose, and this thing here hits on the track, and that's a problem. So this truck is kind of wobbly. And here's another one. That one's not quite as loose as that one, but these disconnect things hit on the track. So I went and took basically the same design here and just made different sides with a different diameter hole. The hole in the side here is just a little bit different. And basically on this one, I'm using the original metal trucks, or the original metal wheels. There we go. Out spinning. That one spins better back here. So yeah, basically took the same truck, made different side covers with a smaller hole so I can use the original Lionel metal wheels, which, like I said, I was doing literally, you know, like an hour before I started the live stream, was printing out a couple different designs and trying some things. So you were talking, somebody had mentioned about a truck tuner. And no, I don't have a truck tuner. Now on these ones here, it's got like a solid axle. The axle is not tapered at all. It's just, you know, a cylinder. However, a countersink bit for the original Lionel wheels, and just give it a little twist there a couple times, and that seats these wheels in here pretty good. So yeah, same design, and that's going to roll all over. Same design, just different sides. So yeah, that's why I made it screw in. So if you like make a truck like this, and then you find a set of wheels and you just want to replace the sides, you can just, you know, unscrew them, and you don't waste the truck. Let me move ahead on my comments. Hit the like button. Thank you, Bob. Never rely on solder or glue, especially on a mechanical connection. Okay. Thank you, Bob. Thank you. I've given up on wireless peripherals. Well, you know what? I tried a wired mouse and it keeps getting in the way, and I keep knocking stuff over as I'm working. And honestly, I think I got this at Five Below or something like that, and I really need a good Logitech one or something good, something better than the $5 mouse. So where did that other bin go? Or if I have anything in here. Well, I pretty much showed you the differences on that. I'll take that out right there. I 3D printed this in different colors just so you could see the parts and everything. And then you can see the axle and so forth. So yeah, if you print these, you want to go over these wheels real good. I guess with like at least some 200, maybe some 400. Just to make these nice and smooth. I said plastic really is the best thing to use for wheels, but if it works, is it a dumb idea, right? So anyhow, this originally started with making this. So this truck here will work for something like a box car or a tank car. Actually, what I did is I printed some of these and I just put a flat piece of wood on it and made a flat car, and I put little Christmas figures. So when I made my Christmas train, I completely made a whole car from the 3D printer. So everything on that car was 3D printed except for the screws. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I should have had a picture of it, but yeah, so you can use these. And again, I designed, the side covers are the only difference. And, you can get side covers to use with this axle, or you can download the side covers to use the original Lionel trucks like that. Mike Jordan is here. Welcome. Sorry, Mike, I had planned on doing the other live stream on Friday and just didn't get home on time. And then next thing you know, it was 8 or 9 o'clock. And I didn't get to it. So this is the truck with the 3D printed axle, and I thought I'd mess around here to see if something else would work. I'm not going to take that apart. What I did, I'm going to throw some more parts on the floor here. I again went and made a third design on these side covers, and that's a piece of metal rod. I forget what size that is. So the metal rod will go in there, and that'll run a little bit smoother. And I made the wheels with a slightly different diameter in the middle. So then that'll go in there. So that wheel will spin a little bit smoother, a lot less sanding to do if you use the metal rod, if you happen to have that size. And then that goes in there. And then I also, again, I made these in green just so you can see that they're different. And it's a hollow tube right there. It's like a straw. So that goes in there like that to kind of keep them separate. And that's what this here is. So it's got the separator in the middle, and that's actually the metal rod that's in here. You can see that. So if you go the link to my Thingiverse is down there below, and if you go there, so I did put the design, 3 different designs for this truck. The non-moving, or the freight truck is on my Thingiverse. I did not put the one for the passenger car yet because, like I said, I was literally working on this at the last minute. So yeah, it's kind of, some of the things you get caught up in with these with the 3D printer, and you're sitting here and you're thinking, well, let's see if we can print it, right? And you know, you can go buy trucks, you know, at $5 a piece or $10 a piece. Sure, you can go buy them, but next thing you know, you've spent $100 on a set, and if you can make it, I mean, what else do you have to do, right? It's fun. So that is the deal on the trucks. It's 834. So there's different designs on those trucks. So in answer to Thomas Grossi, got to remember to keep looking the other way. That's not it. There we go. In answer to Thomas Grossi and Edward at Happy Valley Hobbies, can you print 3 trucks for HO? Yes, you can. Keep these in the camera here. And again, this was something that I thought there's no way that's going to work. And I think Ray printed one, and he's like, I can't believe it worked. And I printed one, and sure enough, it does work. So the answer is yes, you can 3D print HO trucks. So let's see. So let me put these back in the bag because I'm going to lose them. So what? Oh, we were talking about different types of designs here. So that the one that I downloaded has kind of a large hole in the middle. So what I did is I made these little bushings that go in there, so you can put a number 2 screw. So in other words, there we go. Well, you probably can't see that anyhow, but that little bushing goes in the middle, and then it keeps that, you know, centered from moving around. And you can put a number 2 screw in there. So I have not attempted to design anything that small. I would probably, well, that would just take me a while. And here, these bushings here, I can't believe 3D printed. You can't see them. Does that help any? Well, anyhow, yeah, so I 3D printed those little bushings, and they seem to work. And believe it or not, this again, something that I downloaded. I said, there's no way this is going to work. These are 3D printed horn hook couplers. I use horn hook. I know most of you guys probably don't. I think Ray uses horn hook couplers. That just, I printed it, and I said, no, there's no way that's going to work. And sure enough, it does. So the thing that I was doing with the HO trucks is making these. This is another 3D print that I'm working on. I'll throw some more stuff on the floor. And actually, what it is this 3D printed searchlight car. And I was going to do, I'm going to have to do a video on this too, but that's on my Thingiverse, the searchlight car. So this is designed that has batteries in it, so it doesn't use track power. And a little switch on here. So I didn't plan on getting into that tonight, but somebody, well, a couple of you started asking about HO trucks and so forth. So yes, you can print HO trucks. And Thomas Grossi, you make a lot of different cars. Yeah, you got to watch Thomas Grossi's 3D prints. He does some pretty amazing stuff. He's pretty good with it. I did another design of that same thing, and this uses, now these trucks here are the snap-in kind. So I designed the bed here, part of the car, so that these just snap in. So that's a shortcut instead of 3D printing the trucks. All right, so we got sidetracked on that. Go figure. Thank you very much, Dale. Yeah. Hold on there. It's not what I wanted to do. Oh my gosh. Like getting the mouse here. Okay, I went to click on something, and instead, chat jumped ahead on me. Yeah, I am an engineer. What else? What am I using for media? This is all PLA, and PLA is probably one of the softer plastics. You know, melts at well, I guess on the spool it says 195 to 225 degrees is what you should set your nozzle temperature. And PLA is one of the softer ones. ABS would probably be better, but it shouldn't gum up the wheels. I wonder if there's something else wrong, unless you're using PTEG, or trying to think of what the other types of plastic are. But there's other plastics that are softer, but the PLA is what I'm using, and it works pretty good. These do leave a little bit of residue on the track, and as I use them, it's less and less. In other words, you know, you run them on the track and there's a little bit of dirt, clean it, and then the next time I clean it, it's a little bit less. But yeah, PLA. And again, you know, if you watch Thomas, watch Jim Tedesco prints a lot, so they've got a lot going on there. And Ray is our upcoming expert on 3D printing. He's trying hard, slowly making progress. So give some encouragement to Ray when you talk to him. Let me scroll down here. Yeah, they do make plastics that have metal in them. There is different types that you can even print nylon. I think they're probably closer to 300 degrees Celsius with nylon, or like 250 to 300, I think. ABS, I know ABS is like 240 degrees. So that's the reason the PLA is the lowest temperature. So that's why. Sergeant Engineering. Yeah, kind of, because the more you use them, the more you have to clean your track, right? Well, welcome, Jeffs. I haven't seen your name before, so welcome. Well, that's what I was talking about. You know, you can buy old, you know, new trucks and new wheels at what, $5, $10 a piece or something. But whatever. You got a 3D printer, you mess around and see what you can make. That's the truth, Ken. Although I think most of them, most of the newer ones will. I know 5, 6 years ago when I was looking at 3D printers, not all of them would do ABS. So I'm sure like the Creality. Well, I have the Creality CR10, and and I know that does ABS, and the Ender 3 does ABS. So yeah, I mean, nowadays what you buy will probably do almost all plastics, but yeah, 6 years ago, not so much. So where was I on this? Let me get a drink. And we are nearing. So the last part of this, trucks and couplers here. So I wanted to put lights in this, and then I thought, well, that's really stupid. If I put lights in it, you're not going to see anything because there's nothing in it. So again, I went nuts with the 3D printer. There's a piece of cardboard. I see a washer here that's missing from something. So this weekend, probably since Thursday or Friday, I started with this. I put them all back in a bag because I wasn't sure what I was doing. Well, I know what I was doing, but experimenting. That's the fun of 3D printing. Experimenting. And also find these people. And again, that was something where I said, there's no way that's going to print. And sure enough, it looks like a little guy, doesn't it? So again, that was something of printing these guys and figure out how high I wanted them. There's a little girl in a, let's see if I turn it off. There we go. She got a yellow dress. I didn't paint her hair yet. I do not have a resin printer. I'm trying to find an excuse to get a resin printer and a place to put it. Again, Thomas Carossi, I know, has, I think, 2 resin printers. Okay, this little girl doesn't want to stay there. Get this guy on here. All right, you get the idea of what I was doing. PLA, PLA plus, ABS, PETG, PC. So the PETG, I think that's a higher temperature, is it not, Thomas? It's like a squishy type plastic, but it's is it higher temperature? And yes, I do use PLA plus. I mean, the difference is like $1 or $2 for a spool, and for the extra $1 or $2, the PLA plus is a smoother print and more consistent, and it's worth, you know, $1 or $2. You know, the difference between $19 and $21. Get the PLA plus. And you know, we can go back and forth. I use Inland from Micro Center. You can get Creality resin. You can get bamboo resin. So there's tons of manufacturers out there. I've just been using Inland because that's what I get from Micro Center, and that's that. And Edward, the thing we can go East Sun, okay. Yeah, you can print the thing with resin, and again, Thomas is more the expert. The resin, some of the resin, the basic resin is a little bit more brittle. So again, Thomas could probably give you tips on best kind of resin to use. E-Sun is another type of filament. Okay. Okay, good to know. Maybe I'll have to give that a try. I've been using the PLA just because I got used to using it, and I said, you know, a couple weeks ago, I said, you know, I should go buy a spool of ABS or something else and just give it a try. I mean, there's no reason why not. The difference with ABS is that is supposed to, you don't want it to cool as fast, so you want it to cool slower, and also you don't want any changes in temperature. So if you're printing with ABS, I think you want to have a tent over it or something like that. But that's completely up to you, Bob. You know, does it need to be flexible? I mean, you know, here's a side cover that's a little bit flexible, not terribly flexible, but I mean, it's flexible enough for me for what it's doing, you know. And this, you know, all this here, I mean, it works great for that. PLA is great for making houses and buildings and, you know, stuff like that. So it's kind of a, it depends on what you're printing. Yeah, so there's different things as you're printing. So we went through the trucks. This is where I'm at on this, and I kind of, I literally was working on this weekend here, and I've got all these people, and I was painting these guys until my eyes went buggy. And I am at a point where I'm not sure what I'm going to do, because it's got this, I got to paint the rest of these. So it's got this in the middle, and I don't know why that's there, plus the truck mounts. So if I were to cover them up, you know, then what? Like a piece of plastic, like you could 3D print the whole thing. I don't know. If anybody has any ideas, I was thinking of like trying to find a piece of plastic to fit in there. That's a piece of cardboard, and it's a little bit flexible, or, you know, it's not completely flat. Here, I can show you. Yeah, so I originally made the piece of cardboard that big to fit in there to cover the inside, but then it covers the holes where the trucks are, and then I would have a problem with removing the trucks if I needed to. So that is that. And I also put in these weights. I was at the tire store. There's a tire place near me, and they literally give me a 5-gallon bucket of the weights they pull off of cars. And so when I'm bored, I go dig the weights out, clean them off. And what I did, since it had these slots in here, I took the weight. I tried a couple different things. I just put a little bit of rubber cement on the end of it and stuck it in there. And that worked. I tried a hot glue gun. I put all these weights in here, and I put a hot glue gun, and it's just like the hot glue did not melt down into it. It had a big blob on there, so then I had to spend, you know, half an hour cleaning the hot glue off and start all over. But that's what happens. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Thomas. Because here I started doing this, and then I thought, oh, darn it, this isn't going to work. So in other words, if I put other holes in it for the trucks, well, actually, that's what I did. I started, I have a punch, and I was going to try and just punch like a half-inch hole in it, and that didn't work. And then I ended up just like destroying the cardboard here, and then I gave up on it. So I wouldn't say I gave up. I put it aside for now, right? So yeah, that's the project of the Pennsylvania cars. Is that all that I had for this? Yeah. Other guys are not here. Okay. So, oh, I know what I wanted to ask. Maybe somebody could tell me. So this is a passenger car, and then you got, you know, part here, and then 2 windows, and over here. So, I mean, should I put like tables on one end here, or is this like where the bathroom would go? So yeah, like I said, I was trying to fit seats in here, and that worked out. And then I got so far, and I thought, well, what should I do with the ends of it? You know, because it's got, you know, it looks like it's a different section of it. So I'm not the expert on passenger cars or what is supposed to be in there. So, you know, it's a project. So I've got, I guess 4 of these. No, I've got 3 passenger plus the baggage. So the baggage car I'll put the new couplers on, but, you know, I use the original wheels, and I won't do anything to the inside. So let me put that away. Let me see where I'm at. So that's a little bit of 3D printing. Okay, Steve, thank you. You know what? It was like I started putting, benches and seats in there, and then I got to that and I looked at it, and it's kind of scratching my head. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. Yeah, yeah, I need to do that, Thomas. Yeah, this was a project I just started messing around with, and that's how far I got on it. That's an idea too. I guess these are old time, Pennsylvania passenger cars. So I guess it's possible that they had something like that in there. Yeah, that's how it goes. What was I gonna do? Oh, I know. Let me. So where are we at? 8:55. I didn't know if Ray or John or Bob was interested. So I live halfway between Philadelphia and Reading, so that's where I go to train shows. So February 22nd is Saturday. I will be at the Allentown show on the 22nd. Kutztown is April and May. Kutztown, if you've never been there, that's an outdoor train show, and it's free to go to. And they don't charge the vendors that much at Kutztown, so sometimes you can find better deals because the folks that are selling don't have, it doesn't cost them a lot to set up. So sometimes you get some people selling some stuff cheap. And sometime during the summer, yeah, July 13th, I did put it in there, is again the Greenberg train show at the Valley Forge Convention, or the Philadelphia Convention Center in Oaks. That's possible. That's an idea. Yeah, I guess that's what it is, Thomas. I mean, I don't know. Is a Pullman? I mean, a Pullman is just a manufacturer of cars, but if it's a Pullman car, they all designed the same, or what's in the same, what's in them. So yeah, I'll have to look. And on those people in the seats and everything, I was talking to Nick, and you can go and download, or you can buy interiors for coach cars like that, and I found them for I guess $12 to $20 or $25. So you can get a whole interior that just basically you put in there. It's got seats and people and everything. Just put the whole interior in there. But if I get three of them, then there I am, $30, $40, $50 that I just spent, that I can go and spend on something else. So it's just for fun. Okay, Dell. See you there, right? Usual crew will be there. Canfield, Ohio. No, that's on the other side. Well, I'm on the eastern side of Pennsylvania, so I would not get over that far. Yeah, right. I mean, so what's the fun of having a 3D printer if you just buy everything, right? You got a 3D printer. Let's see what we can print, man. Let's have some fun with it. Um, Nobody else joined in. Let me see here. Okay, so Bob says he's actually going to start on a track plan. I'll believe it when I see it, right? He's going to end up with, like, piece of cardboard. And I'm kidding you. I'm messing with you. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what you get started on, Bob. You know, give us a call, or we'll do a get together, and we'll break your stones over. I mean, we'll help you out with it and get you started. So there's the plans on that. Or there's the schedule. Yeah, I saw those too. And well, here you go. Here's my measuring type device thingy. Now you can see me over here. So what am I looking at? That's like 10.5 inches. I mean, I guess you don't need to print the whole thing, but roughly 10 inches. And my print bed is like 7.5 inches. So, I mean, I guess you could print it in sections, but yeah, well, I looked at some of those. Most of the ones that I saw were HO scale, but I guess you could just scale them up or print them in pieces. That's an option to print interior sections in pieces or whatever, but that's another option. Okay, Bob says he's got some plans. He's got some ideas. We'll see. Hopefully we'll have something. Randall Ellison is in Kansas. Hopefully you're safe and doing well there. Not freezing. I hope Kansas is warmer than Pennsylvania. Mike, build whatever space you have. Yeah, we talked about some things, something that fits under your bed, or whatever you can do. If you're getting started and you don't have a whole lot of space, if you get a couple layers of cardboard and stick them together, and you got something you can slide under the bed, or even fold up against the wall. Whatever, it's your layout. Just do something that gets started, make running trains. Wow. Okay, that's a pretty big build plate there, Thomas. Yeah, I've got the standard. Was it 220 or 240 millimeters? But what are you using for a slicer, Thomas? Yeah, I was going to do a live stream on getting started in 3D printing and so forth. And one of the things, somebody that got a 3D printer and they didn't know what to do or how to get started, and didn't realize that you have to take an SDL file and then convert it to a G-code file to send to your printer. In other words, a printer doesn't know what to do with a drawing file or an STL file. You've got to process it and add in all the parameters of that. But so yeah, so there's different slicer programs, I guess is what I'm getting at. I'm using Creality Print. There's Cura is a popular one. Cura did not support this particular printer, so that's why I didn't use it. Cura, okay. I was using Cura with my other printer, the ANET printer, and like I said, the Cura did not support the CR10, the Creality CR10. So I'll have to go back. I guess Orca is another one. So I don't know. I don't want to throw you under the bus, Ray. and actually, Ray, you are not the first person that's happened to. You are not at all the first person. Oh, wait. Yeah, you're not the first person that did that, Ray. Computer numerical control. Yes, that's exactly what they are, and they work similar to laser engravers or regular spindle engravers. Same kind of thing. Okay, so that covers, the Lionel trucks and so forth. I'll show you one thing here that I was going to do at the beginning. Wasn't sure how much time I had, but since we're doing okay, the stupid light that I had. I need a light, to give myself, a little bit of light while I'm working. And I bought a ring light, and that was useless. Well, I didn't pay much for it. And so I started looking, well, how much do you have to spend for a decent ring light? Well, you could spend, I went to Micro Center and they had some nice ones. Oh, that looks like a nice light. Oh, it was like $100. You gotta be kidding me. Where did that go here? So that's one of those little headlamps. I think I showed this before. So if you take it apart, you got the little LEDs in there that look like this. And then you tear it apart a little bit further and you can attach wires onto it like that. So I 3D printed this little outline for it so I could put 4 of them in there, and it's got the wires on it. So they're running, the wires are running out the back. So this is 2 separate pieces, that has a grid that holds the 4 in there, and then like an overlay here to hold it all together, and some screws in there. And then after I made it, I thought, well, how am I going to mount it? So I 3D printed this little bracket here to attach it to the stick. So I made this light, and there's the wires for it, and it's connected to a USB, and it also has a switch that's coming apart. Well, I wanted to put a switch on it, and I didn't want to drill, so I 3D printed a little mount for the switch. So I did that. Let me show you the other part while this falls over. Let's see. So this is adjustable. Well, I put my hands in the way. So I can loosen this and then adjust that like that. And it's got these little gears in here, whatever, that lock together. Let me tighten this back up so I don't lose it. And go back in. Yeah, throw that all over. That's fine. Sorry, I hope I don't mess with anybody's eyeballs here. I need a better mount for this overhead thing too. So I originally made these things here. You see they got little cogs in them, so they kind of lock together. And I think it's like a 2-inch diameter. And I thought, well, that's too big. So I went ahead and made some smaller ones. Let's see. They're basically the same thing, except for it's got, the extra piece on here that you could just screw right into the wood here and adjust it. So no gluing necessary on that. I'll put that together. And it's got a USB cable because those LEDs work on 5 volts. And I took a cable from a printer or something like that, cut the end off, and basically using one of these guys. So that's my desk lamp, or my work light. Plug this back in. Like that. So, yeah. So I don't know. I'll have to find a decent light. What's his name? Rick. Rick has a cool setup. He's got like this adjustable arm and everything, and it's trying to find something that that works for you. But anyhow, so from the city, then no, I'm just kidding. That's all I got there to get today, folks. Again, on my Thingiverse, I do have the regular trucks on there. These are on Thingiverse. The adjustable ones here are the ones with the movable coupler. I didn't upload that yet because I'm just working on that today. So I will get that up there. I'm going to say tonight, but I don't know. I'm not going to promise. And if you have any questions about any of that stuff on Thingiverse, that's fine. So yeah, let me know. In other words, if you download any of my stuff from Thingiverse, you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Circuit Joy Extra Printer. It is a cutter printer for labels, stickers, etc. Learning the software now. Is that a laser or is it just a cutter? Like I think they like a Cricut or a Cricut, or I don't know how they pronounce that, but that was something that you can use to cut out individual labels. I actually do have a laser cutter out in the garage, and I used it twice, and that's it. It's still out in the garage because with that thing, you have to have the computer connected to it the entire time. And what I need to do is I have like a Windows 7 computer, and I need to put the software on that, and then I can put that laptop out there and run the laser engraver and not hold anything else up. But yeah. Thank you very much, Grandpa Rails. Yeah, let me know. Send me an email or something if there's something that you like or need adjustments. Or I have fun designing stuff too. I use TurboCAD to design all my stuff. So yeah, if there's something that you want designed and you're not good with CAD, let me know. I have fun designing stuff. Okay, yeah, I actually haven't seen one of those. I think Nick has one of those, a Cricut or a Cricut, and he's done some labels for things like for he has O gauge, and like he'll do like the side of a car, like if he wants to put the lettering on it, that works good for that. And I guess I got to get with Bob more on the labels. I need to get into that, the labels, because I have a lot of stuff that needs labels. Thank you very much, Thomas. Or Edward, I'm sorry, you're Edward. The other guy was Thomas. Sorry about that. Okay, so I guess that's it. Again, let me throw this up here on the way out. So that's the schedule. Next week is Ray if he's feeling better. No, next week is Bob, and he's going to have some track plans for us. And then Ray after that. Hopefully Ray will be feeling better. And then we'll hear from Brian down in Louisiana. So we'll go from there. All right. All right. Thank you very much, John. I'll call that a success. Okay, yeah, I guess that's all I have. And I got a little bit of work to do on these coach cars, and it's been fun. Thank you all so very much for joining, and be sure to catch Bob next week. I'll get it right yet. Be sure to catch Bob next week. All right, thanks again, everyone. See you next time. Bye.